Hello friends, welcome back to our channel IT India. In this video, we are going to start a new series for actual exam questions for AWS Solution Architect. In this series, we have considered all the feedbacks that have been provided from your end, like taking proper pause, explaining all the options and all. So we will try our best to meet your expectation in this series. So I hope you will follow all the videos in this series. This is going to be tutorial first of the series, and let's start this video with first question of the series. A company collects data for temperature, humidity and atmospheric pressure in cities across multiple continents. The average volume of data the company collects from each site daily is approx 500 GB. Each site has a high speed internet connection. The company want to aggregate the data from all these global sites as quickly as possible in a single Amazon S3 bucket. The solution must minimize operational complexity. Which solution meet these requirements? Here are the options. Turn on S3 transfer acceleration on the destination S3 bucket. Use multi-part upload to directly upload site data to the destination S3 bucket. Option B, upload the data from each site to an S3 bucket in the closest region. Use S3 cross-region replication to copy object to the destination S3 bucket. Then remove the data from the origin S3 bucket. Option C, schedule AWS Snowball edge storage optimized device jobs daily to transfer data from each site to closest region. Use S3 cross-region replication to copy object to the destination S3 bucket. Option D, upload the data from each site to an Amazon EC2 instance in the closest region. Store the data in an Amazon Elastic Block Store, that is EBS volume, at regular intervals. Take an EBS snapshot and copy it to the region that contains the destination S3 bucket. Restore the EBS volume in that region. So all these are options, and this is the requirement of the question, that there is 500 GB at each site that should be aggregated at one particular place as quickly as possible. And the requirement of the question is that it should have minimal operational complexity. Now take your time to guess the correct one. Now let me reveal the correct answer. Option A, that is turn on S3 acceleration on the destination S3 bucket and use multi-part directly to upload site data to the destination S3 bucket. This is the correct answer over here, right? Because what we are given in the question, very first thing, 500 GB data. That is a quite big data, but it has high speed internet connection. And if you talk about this option B, load the data from each site to an S3 bucket in the closest region, then use cross region replication to copy object to destination S3 bucket, then remove data. This is also possible. It is not like that it could not meet the requirement, but it is increasing effort that you will have to put. But the requirement is to minimize operational complexity. Firstly, you are copying it to one S3 bucket, then you are copying it to another S3 bucket, then you are removing it from the very first S3 bucket. So this is not correct option here. Schedule AWS Snowball edge storage optimized devices. High speed internet connection is already given. So it must have some significance, right? And it has nothing to do with the snowball. So this is not correct over here. And ultimately, this is increasing the operational complexity as well. So this is not correct. Now, option D, upload data from each site to an Amazon EC2 instance in the closest region. That is possible. You can do that. Then store in EBS and then take the EBS snapshot, then copy the snapshot in any other region. So that is also possible, and restore volume in that region. So you can understand by reading the option itself. This is super complex. So this is also not correct here. So turn on S3 transfer acceleration is the correct answer here. Now question number second. A company needs the ability to analyze the log files of its proprietary application. The logs are restored in JSON format in an Amazon S3 bucket. Queries will be simple. So this is also keyword. Queries will be simple and will run on demand. A solution architect needs to perform the analysis with minimal changes to the existing architecture. What should the solution architect do to meet these requirements with the least amount of operational overhead? So here are the options. Use Amazon Redshift to load all the content in one place and run the SQL queries as needed. Option B, use Amazon CloudWatch logs to store the logs. Run SQL queries as needed from the Amazon CloudWatch console. Option C, use Amazon Athena directly with the Amazon S3 to run the queries as needed. Option D, use AWS Glue to catalog the logs. Use a transient Apache Spark cluster on Amazon EMR to run SQL queries as needed. So these are all the options. The requirement of the question is also clear. Logs are to be analyzed with the help of some simple queries, right? And that will also run on demand. And they should be minimal changes. And operational overhead should be minimum. Now try to answer this. Okay, now let me reveal the correct answer. Option C, use Amazon Athena directly with Amazon S3 to run the queries as needed. This will be the correct answer here. Because Amazon Athena is an interactive query service that makes it easy to analyze data directly in Amazon simple storage service, that is Amazon S3 using standard SQL. Whenever you see the requirement that data is to be analyzed in Amazon S3 bucket, you must always use Amazon Athena. However, you should go through the question and try to understand it first. But yeah, this will be the correct answer in most of the cases. And what about option A? Use Amazon Redshift to load all the content in one place and then run SQL queries as needed. So you can understand, here we have to perform two steps. First, we have to load content in one place, right? Then we have to run the queries. So this is not the correct answer. It would have been correct. We will use Redshift if the queries are complex, but queries are also simple. So this is not correct. And now use Amazon CloudWatch logs to store the logs and then run SQL queries as needed from the Amazon CloudWatch console. This is also not correct because query will be on demand. It is clearly mentioned queries will be on demand. So we do not need the CloudWatch logs to store the logs. Now use AWS Glue to catalog the logs. Use a transient Apache Spark cluster on Amazon EMR to run the SQL queries as needed. So this is also not correct because again it is taking two steps. First, use AWS Glue to catalog the logs, then use Spark to run the SQL. And here it is meeting the requirement in just one step. So this is also not correct. However, you can say all the options were quite possible apart from this one. This was also possible, this was also possible, and this is obviously possible. Now, question number third. A company uses AWS organizations to manage multiple AWS accounts for different departments. The management account has an Amazon S3 bucket that contains project reports. The company want to limit access to this S3 bucket to only users of accounts within the organization in AWS organization. Which solution meet these requirements with the least amount of operational overhead? Here are the options. Option A, add the AWS principal org ID global condition key with a reference to the organization ID to the S3 bucket policy. Option B, create an organizational unit for each department. Add AWS principal org path global condition key to the S3 bucket policy. Option C, use AWS CloudTrail to monitor the create account, invite account to organization, leave organization, and remove account from organization events. Update the S3 bucket policy accordingly. Option D, tag each user that need access to the S3 bucket. Add the AWS principal tag global condition key to the S3 bucket policy. These are all the options. Requirement is also clear. Access to the S3 bucket should be to the users of accounts which are in the organization itself. That's it. Now take your time to guess the correct one and list amount of operational overhead should be there. Okay, now let me reveal the correct answer. The answer here will be add the AWS principal org ID global condition key with a reference to the organization ID to the S3 bucket policy because this global key provides an alternative to listing all the account IDs for all the AWS account in the organization. And that is the requirement of the question, because accounts within the organization should have the access. So what this AWS principal org ID is doing, this is providing you the listing of all the account IDs for all the AWS account in that organization. So this is meeting the requirement of the question. But what about this option B? Create an organizational unit for each department and then add this principal or path global condition key to the S3 bucket policy. This is wrong because principal or path require you to change the OU path when the user switch to another OU. So it is not about any specific OU, that is organizational unit. It is about all the accounts in that particular organization. So this is not correct. What about AWS Cloud Trail to monitor? This is also not correct because you need to put effort to update the policy which introduces operational overhead, because you are updating the policy according to that all the time. So that is not correct. It is increasing the operational overhead. That should not be the case. Now tag each user. This word only, it clearly indicates there will be high operational overhead, right? Because tagging each user that need access to the S3 bucket could not be the best option when least amount of operational overhead is required. So I hope this is clear to you. Now question number 4. An application run on Amazon EC2 instances in a VPC. The application processes logs that are stored in an Amazon S3 bucket. The EC2 instance need to access the S3 bucket without internet connectivity. This is very important keyword and question as well. Which solution will provide private network connectivity to Amazon S3? Here are the options. Create a gateway VPC endpoint to the S3 bucket. Option B, stream the logs to Amazon CloudWatch logs. Export the logs to S3 bucket. Option C, create an instance profile on the Amazon EC2 instance to allow S3 access. Option D, create an Amazon API gateway with a private link to access the S3 endpoint. These are the options. Take your time to guess the correct one. Okay, now let me reveal the correct answer. Option A, create a gateway VPC endpoint to the S3 bucket is the correct answer here. Because gateway VPC endpoint can connect to the S3 bucket privately without any additional cost and without internet connectivity as well. In fact, VPC endpoints are for the purpose of connectivity without internet. It could be SSM endpoint, it could be S3 endpoint, it could be TMS endpoint, it could be any other endpoint as well. So whatever endpoint is there, that will work even without the internet connectivity. But what about option B? Stream the log to Amazon CloudWatch logs and export the log to S3 bucket. So this is not correct answer because you can set up interface VPC endpoint to CloudWatch. That is fine. You can perform up to this point. But from CloudWatch to S3 bucket, log data can take up to 12 hours to become available for export, and the requirement only need EC2 to S3. So this is not correct answer because export from Amazon CloudWatch to S3 bucket will take longer time. So this is not correct. Now create an instance profile on the Amazon EC2 instance to allow S3 access. That is possible. You can do that. But creating an instance profile will grant access but will not help to connect EC2 instance to S3 bucket. You will be able to access as per the permission, but connectivity will not be there. So this is not correct. Now create an Amazon API gateway. That is also not correct because API gateway act like proxy to receive requests from outside to AWS services like Lambda, EC2, but not for S3. So this is not correct. Now question number 5. A company is hosting a web application on AWS using a single Amazon EC2 instance that stores user uploaded document in an Amazon EBS volume. For better scalability and availability, the company duplicated the architecture and created a second EC2 instance and EBS volume in another availability zone, placing both behind an application load balancer. After completing this change, user reported that each time they refreshed the website, they could see one subset of their document or the other, but never all the document at the same time. What should a solution architect propose to ensure users see all their document at once. Here are the options. Copy the data so both EBS volume contain all the documents. Option B, configure application load balancer to direct the user to the server with the document. Option C, copy the data from both the EBS volumes to EFS, modify application to save new document to EFS. Option D, configure the application load balancer to send the request to both the servers, return each document from the correct server. These are the options. So now take your time to guess the correct one. Okay, now let me reveal the correct answer. Correct answer here will be option C. Copy the data from the EBS volume to EFS, modify application to save new document to EFS. And this is because whenever you see concurrent or at the same time keywords, that is at the same time, EFS will be the answer, right? But that is fine. I will try to explain it a little bit more. Now, what about option A? Why is not that correct? Copy the data to both the EBS volume. So it is asking you to copy the data so that both the EBS contain all the document, right? So it requires sync between both the EBS volume, which is complex and at the same time it is not scalable. So if one change is being made on volume 1, it should be on volume 2. It is not quite easily possible. So this is not correct. Now configure application load balancer to direct a user to the server with the document. It is possible, but it is not scalable. Suppose that one particular server fails, then it will not be able to work. So this is not correct. Now configure the application load balancer to send the request to both the servers. This the counter for this one. Here it was sending to just one, but here it is sending to both. So it should be scalable, right? And return each document from the correct server. That is fine. But the thing is that it is impractical to have a mechanism to merge the responses coming from two instances, because now it will send the request to both the servers. Response for your request will come from both the servers. Then your application has to understand that and has to respond to the user according to that, right? So this is quite impractical. So this is not correct answer. And option C is the only correct answer here. So friends, this was all this video. Thanks for watching this video and please do subscribe this channel IT India and have a great learning.